Welcome everyone. Today we are going to talk about using cost of living calculators to compare job offers. So we get a lot of students that will come and tell us, I have a job offer in a different state and then I have one here in Indiana. How can I tell which one is a better offer? Because as you know, as you move to different places, the cost of living is going to be different. So you may be given an offer with more money, a better salary somewhere else. But if the cost of living is high, um, maybe that salary that you're given is not going to be better at the end. So we're going to look at some tools that you can use to help you determine which salary is going to be better depending on where you are going to be living. So, all right, so the calculators that I'm going to show you in a second, we'll do a dollar for dollar comparison. So they will let you know, for instance, if you are in Fort Wayne and you're given a $40,000 salary, but you want to go to California, for instance, and make a salary that matches what it would be, if you were here in Indiana making a $40,000 a year salary. So they would tell you, if you want to live the same way in California, then you would want, for instance, $75,000 is what you would want to make at least so that you can have the same type of living in California, which is a more expensive state. The calculators will report the needed salary for the same standard of living, just as I was talking about. And then a lot of them will give you a breakdown of the cost of the different categories. So not just how much you need to make in a different place, but also how the expenses vary from the state that you're looking to move from and the state that you're wanting to move into. And those will be things like housing, food, and gas. How do they compare? Which one is higher? They'll even give you the amount or even the percentage so that you know exactly why and how so it is more expensive in this new place. So here's the map of United States, and you can see depending on where you go, the cost of living is going to vary. So the most expensive are going to be the maroon color, and then all the way to you get to the dark blue, which is the cheapest. So if you're comparing a salary again from California to Texas, it's not going to be the same thing, right? I have students that have said, I have a really good offer to go to California. I'm going to be making, $80,000 a year, and it sounds really awesome. But then once we look at the cost of living, then it really isn't. It's not better than the one they're getting offer in a blue state. So this is just going to give you the picture of how states will vary in terms of expenses and cost of living. All right, so the Bureau of Economic Analysis will break down necessary expenses into 9 groups, and those are the things that you want to look at as you're going into possibly other places, other states. See what is the cost. Be aware of all those things. So apparel, obviously, education. Some of them may be applicable to you or may not. Education, if you have kids and obviously you got to pay for their education, or if you're wanting to go into get your master's degree, that will add up. Otherwise, education may not be a category for you. But food, housing, medical, recreation, transportation, and then obviously goods and services. So these are some areas to think about as you're going into new places to see how they're going to affect. Also, don't forget expenses such as housing and car insurance. Obviously, if you have a house, if you have a car, even if you're renting, it's required. Sometimes it's encouraged that you have insurance for that. Maintenance of the house, your vehicle, utilities, childcare. Some of you may have kids, and you need to think about what is childcare going to cost in this new place. Vehicle licensing and registration. If you're not going to own a car, you'll need to pay for public transportation. So again, just think of all these additional little expenses that will add up over time. So here are some cost of living calculators that I recommend using. There's plenty of them. And one thing that I will say is use more than one calculator so that you can compare them and get an average. A lot of times calculators will use what people are reporting, so that can vary from calculator to calculator. Other ones may use a specific time frame. So if they use a time frame where, you know, that year everything was really expensive, that's what they're going to report, or maybe a time frame where things were really, really affordable. So it's good to make a comparison using different tools so that you can do an average and compare them and make sure that you're getting the most accurate information. And then I am listing also international cost of living calculators for any of you out there that may be interested in going to another country. You can also do the same and compare and learn about this new place, right? Is it going to be expensive to rent, to own a house? How much so? They will, the same way, will tell you if you live in Indiana and you make $60,000 a year, and that's kind of what you would like to have. If you move, it would tell you how much you would need to make at this new location to live the same lifestyle. So one thing I'm going to do is show you the calculators. So I need to stop sharing for 1 second so I can bring up the tool that I'm going to show you. In the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I have somebody managing, so we'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. Hey, Danny, I can't get this to, oh, there it is. Okay. Let's see. All right, so here is this website. And this is moneygeek.com. This is one of the websites where you can go in and plug in information. So let's play with that so you can see how it works. So I currently live in, so let's pick, Fort Wayne. And then let's say somebody wants to move, I don't know, let's pick a big city. Let's pick somewhere in Arizona. And as you can see, you can even add other cities. So if you're looking into moving somewhere else, or you have offers from other places, you can compare them all together. And let's say that your income right now is 50. You can put the career selection. It's optional, you don't have to, but then you go to calculate it. And so here we have the cost of living summary. So in Fort Wayne, we make 50. In Phoenix, I would need to make 54 so that I can have the same lifestyle, right? Because Phoenix is going to be more expensive than Fort Wayne. And then it even gives you the national median for the whole country. So, and then it brings you down here, gives you the graph, basically the same information that you will need to have as far as salary to have the same lifestyle, but then you also have the breakdown like we spoke on earlier. So you can see housing, you compare Fort Wayne to Phoenix, how much it differentiates, groceries, transportation, Utilities, you can see right here, so transportation and utilities, a slight change, whereas housing is a more drastic. Health and then goods and services seem to match for the most part. If we were to add the career or field, you would also see how they differ in salary. Right now, they're just making the comparison based on just a plain salary with no career attached to it. So again, that will be more clear, more accurate if you put your industry. And then it even gives you additional information such as demographic. You know, you can compare one place to another in terms of age. I know sometimes I have students that want to go to places where they're more diverse, or there's more younger people, so there's more things to do, people with families. So here you can compare and make those decisions based on this. So Fort Wayne, ethnicity, we're looking at 4462, and then the breakdown in terms of gender, so feminine and masculine, you can see kind of how it differs. You can go into more detail if you really want to get into it. All that information is given to you. But like I said before, you want to use several of them so that you can make sure that you get the information that you need. So I am going to show you now another website, and this one is Dave Ramsey. For those of you that know Dave Ramsey, he teaches a lot about finances. He has a cost of living calculator here. So we're going to test it and try it for you. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go to Fort Wayne and we're going to find a city. Let's go to Atlanta, Georgia. And let's put that our salary is 30,000. So based on your Fort Wayne Allen County salary, your Atlanta salary will need to be 35. So again, bigger city, cost of living changes. So we're gonna have to make a little bit more money so that we can at least have the same lifestyle. And then it goes down to show you the expenses, comparing them from place to place, housing, utilities, food, and all of that. And these ones are changeable. So if you're like, you know what, I really don't pay that much for housing, you know, I only pay 600, you can change it and it will modify over here based on that price range. The same with utilities, maybe food, you have a big family, maybe you're like, no, I really spend 500 a month. It would also change it over here for you. So you can go there and adapt it to your own individual expenses, and based on the changes, the cost of living in Atlanta, it will change it for you. As you can see, transportation doesn't seem to have a huge difference, whereas other ones, housing, will have a huge impact. And that again, you know, right here, if you were to go to Atlanta because they seem to give you a better salary, but then you move and you find out that, yeah, that extra money is really to pay for housing because it's more expensive, then you're not really gaining anything at the end. So do those comparisons before you make a final decision. And so make sure you use those resources. And like I said, here I have additional ones that you can use. You can play with different ones, see which ones you like more. CNNmoney.com and Consumer Price Index are more informational than actual calculators, but they will give you just kind of the breakdown like we saw with age, with education, with diversity, those type of things. You'll be able to see more on that. What are those states known for? What are the fields that are in demand? So obviously if you are, let's say in engineering, you want to go to those states where engineering is a career that's in demand. And then obviously, like we talked about, international calculators are also available for you. All right, that's really all I have for you. Anybody has any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we're here at the Indiana Tech Career Center in Endorfer 222. Feel free to email us or call us with any of your questions. Our email is careercenter@indianatech.edu. We'll be more than happy if you have any offers and you kind of done your comparison, but you want somebody who's just gonna go through it with you. We'll be more than happy to help with that. So, all right, we'll see you guys till next time.